I am aggressive. It's just that I don't need to go and abuse the batsman. I know cricket is a batsman's game and the rules are also in the favor of the batsman. I enjoy solving different puzzles. I like to do the tough job.
Jasprit, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. Let's begin with one of the most talked about aspects of your cricket, your bowling action. It's been the subject of a lot of conversations, it's gone through a lot of analysis to see why it's so effective. Can you tell us how that bowling action came to you?
So there's no particular reason that I was trying to be something different or I was trying to do something out of the box. I learned cricket by watching the television, so I used to copy all the bowlers that I saw on the television and who I was fascinated by. So I didn't realize in doing that, I made up something on my own and I kept doing that. So I never looked at myself, and I still don't look at my bowling action as an unorthodox action because I don't see my action when I'm bowling, right? I'm just bowling. So I look at myself as any other bowler. But yes, obviously a lot of discussions have happened. I saw in the video, it's a little different to what others do. But this is how I bowl and that works for me. So I look at it this way. I don't look at it as unorthodox or different. I look at myself and I say this is how I bowl and I try to have fun.
So it could be like Andrew Flintoff, come Brett Lee, come Makaya Antini.
I don't know about that, but I would like to be the first version of myself. But yes, I am a person who's inspired by watching other fast bowlers, and that just gives me a lot of joy. So yes, I have seen all great bowlers and how they bowl and try to pick up things from each and every one of them.
So the current action that you have, how did it go through multiple transformations and end up being what it is now?
It didn't go through a lot of transitions. So yes, once I started playing good amount of cricket, I have not made any changes to it. It's just that this has worked for me and my body is adapted to how I bowl, and this is the way it works for me. So it's not gone through a lot of transitions. Yes, I've become stronger and I've become more experienced with playing cricket, and you understand your body a lot more. But that's the only difference. In terms of technical aspects, I've not changed. Yes, I've learned new things about bowling, but in terms of my action, it's just been how it was.
One of the most therapeutic sights in world cricket is Jasprit Bumrah bowling a Yorker and rattling the stumps. How did you learn the Yorker and how did you perfect it over the years?
So when I was a kid, when I used to watch television and I used to see bowlers getting wickets of Yorkers, it is very fascinating for a child. I used to see people on the floor, the stumps flying. It's a sight to see. Even when nowadays people see that, it's really exciting, with the stumps having lights, so the lights come up. So back then there were no lights, but it fascinated me quite a lot. So when I used to try and replicate that with my tennis ball, I used to think that is the only way to get wickets, and that is the way, if you want to get a batsman out, you do that. So I used to keep doing that again and again, even at my house, when I used to go down. I didn't realize that I'm developing a skill. I was doing it because it just made me happy and I was having fun. When I came into serious cricket, I realized that I have a strength of bowling Yorkers, so I did use it to my advantage, and I kept learning about it and kept it with me. So I always kept it with me. So I think I got that from tennis ball cricket to serious cricket, but I kept it with me and I wanted to use it to the best of my advantage. Now even in test cricket I use it. So yes, this is a ball which gives me a lot of joy.
In international cricket, players like Lasith Malinga have been known to bowl Yorkers, and you shared the dressing room while playing for the Mumbai Indians. Is there something you've learned from him about sharpening your Yorker skills?
I didn't learn about sharpening my Yorker skills because he bowls his Yorkers a little different to the way I do. His trajectory is a little different. But yes, we did have some conversations on how to use it. I actually learned a lot more about game awareness from him than my Yorker because he uses it differently, I use it differently. But we had conversation of when to use it, what stage, what kind of delivery is helpful. So all these aspects have been very helpful, and that is the conversation whenever we have. He's the bowling coach right now, Mumbai Indians. So it's always good. I've played a lot of cricket with him as well. So yeah, he's very happy and proud to see my journey as well.
Can you talk a bit about the game awareness conversations that you have with him?
Game awareness in the sense that, the new ball Yorker, when it swings, how do you use it? at what stage, when do you use a wide Yorker, when the ball is reversing, where do you aim for it. So these are the game awareness tactics that you have to learn. And then the other aspect is what kind of preparation you have to do for a particular batsman, that everybody has their different strengths. You have your strengths, so how do you match up with it, and what are the preparation aspects also, that when you usually regularly bowl a Yorker, what are the things you have to do in preparation to take it with you and keep ticking that box. So all of these things do come into my preparation routine.
In the last 12 months alone, you've been the player of the series in the T20 World Cup. You're among the top 5 wicket takers in the Test Championships cycle. How do you adapt your game when you switch from one format to another?
It's more about mental adjustment now. Yes, obviously going from T20 to Test matches, the volume of your bowling increases quite a lot. But for me, as a kid, I always enjoyed challenges. I wanted new responsibility. I wanted different challenges all the time. So these are the different challenges I was preparing for. So when I came into international cricket, I was preparing myself that I want to play Test cricket, I want to play T20, I want to play one day. So what are different kind of skills I have to learn? So once you work on that, you rely on that experience, that what are the things that have worked for you and what are the things you've done well. So I look at that, I try to go back to the drawing board, and the mental adjustment happens that way. And more often than not, for me, the thing that works to my advantage, I really love bowling. So the more I bowl, I enjoy it even more. So I always look forward to different challenges and try to solve the puzzle through my bowling whenever I can.
So like playing different matches across different formats, that's what sharpened the skill here.
Yes, it gives me a lot of joy, because it's like a game where different levels come and different puzzles, different scenarios. So you like to solve that problem, and that keeps you going, and different questions and different answers start to come. So that gives me a lot of joy, and I look at that in that aspect.
Modern cricket, and you wouldn't like this because it's a batsman's game. However, if one looks at the numbers that you've recorded, it's a whole new story. In tests, you average 20.57. In the last 100 years, among all the bowlers who've taken at least 150 wickets, there's only one bowler whose average is lower than you. On the other hand, in T20, your economy rate is 6.27, which is a spectacular number. Anyone following T20s would know. At a time when the bat versus ball game is always won by the bat, how do you stymie the run flow? How do you get this chokehold on the batsman?
So I don't know about modern cricket. I know cricket is a batsman's game, and the rules are also in the favor of the batsman. But I love bowling. So I have to find my own ways, and I look at myself and I look at the things that fascinated me, and I use it to my advantage. Now these numbers, I don't know how to react to that, because I never focused on numbers. Early on, yes, when you start, you think about numbers and you want to contribute. But over the years, you realize that it's a very tough battle to fight. Obviously, the numbers have been good, but I am not focusing on the numbers, because I look at what I wanted to do as a child. When I was a child, I used to look at the television with, keen eyes and be fascinated by, I'm making my team win. If the bowlers are making their team win, they're contributing and having fun with the game. So I wanted to do that. As a child, I always dreamt of playing for India. I wanted to do well and take wickets. Now I'm doing that, so I go back to that child. That child will be really happy. Obviously happy with the numbers, but more happiness is making the team win and getting great wins. So we won in Australia, we drew a series in England, doing well. We won a World Cup. So all of these memories will always stay with me. So that gives me a lot of joy. Obviously, I want to contribute as much as I can and try to sharpen my skills even more going further. So that gives me a lot of joy. Whenever I come into a scenario where, it's a tough scenario, I go back to that child, that, what are the things that I would do in that scenario? What is the puzzle? So like I said in the previous answer, that when I enjoy solving different puzzles. I like to do the tough job. When it's a batsman oriented, how can I make an impact? How can I do things differently, rather than complaining or pointing fingers that this is not in my favor? I look at myself, and if I try and find answers, there's no better feeling than that.
You bring up tough scenarios. Let me discuss one with you. The 18th over of the T20 World Cup final. There was David Miller and Marco Jansen. And South Africa would have fancied their chances, right? You come in, you give away just 2 runs and take 1 wicket. It's a key over that contributed to India's victory. Talk us through that over.
See, obviously we were playing really well, and when the score had come to 30 of 30, I would be lying if I would say I was not worried, and I would say that okay, I knew I will make a role. But no, we were worried, but I was somehow talking to myself about thinking that okay, you stay positive, you still have to stay in the game, and try and get your team back, because the game is still not yet over, still 30 runs are left, so you have to back yourself in that position. Then when I came for my second last over, I saw the ball is reverse swinging a little bit. So that doesn't happen a lot in white ball cricket. So then I realized, okay, if I can squeeze in a good over, the run rate will become higher and higher, and it's a final, the pressure keeps on mounting up. So when the ball started to reverse, then I started to use my experience on how to use it to the best of my advantage. And what helps me the most is staying in the present. I was not looking at the last ball victory. I was looking at one by one, slowly taking your team to a better position. So then I was right at that moment. If I had thought about, okay, I have to, bowl the glory ball, or if I have to do something magical, it never works. So I was right in the moment. I was trying to get my team back into the competition, and the ball was reverse swinging. I have a lot of belief in my ability, focusing on that. And God was very kind. I'm very grateful that, we were able to turn that game around.
For a long time, we've come to associate aggression with fast bowlers, but you're a rare exception. You don't even go overboard with celebrations when you get a wicket. Is that a conscious decision to keep your emotions in check on the field?
So I am aggressive. It's just that I don't need to go and abuse the batsman, because when I started, I was a kid, so I saw the bowlers on the television screaming and shouting and going head to head. So when I tried it, I became too aggressive. When I was a kid and I tried to play in club cricket, it didn't work in my favor. So when I realized that I go overboard, so for that, to control that, I consciously worked on it. And then when I'm nice and calm and relaxed, people don't know what's going on in my head. So that gives me a mental advantage. So I don't want to give any advantages to anyone. So that is how I worked on it, and that helps me to stay calm, make better decisions. And I am aggressive. I'm not there to, give throwdowns to batters and get hit. I'm there to do a job, and I want to make my team win. But my way of aggression is different. I don't need to abuse, but my body language and the way I run in and bowl, that is the way I want to show aggression.
Have you ever sledged?
See, obviously, I am not going to lie, it happens, right? But I don't start it. But if sometimes it comes to my way, then I don't back down as well, because that is how I started playing. So it is very, very easy for me to start that battle. But I don't do it consciously, because I want to be in my zone and in my moment.
Is this a question I should rather ask Jimmy Anderson?
No, that was not a fight, but that is a scenario sometimes in Test cricket. What happens if we're all trying to make our team win, and sometimes things go over. But in fact, that helped our team, and that contributed to my batting. That in that game we contributed with the bat as well, and we went 2-1 up in the series. So that's quite memorable.
You've been the leader of the pack for the fast bowling unit. You've been the vice captain of the team. You've captained India in the Edgbaston Test, the Ireland series. Do you enjoy leadership?
So for me, leadership is not just about a post. Yes, even now, even if I'm not the captain, it's my job to help others as well, because when I have played cricket, there are a lot of youngsters coming in. It's our job to take Indian cricket forward and help and make the Indian team win and be in a great scenario. So I look at it this way: whoever is the captain, all of us are trying to make the team win, because the captain has a lot of responsibility. So you need leaders in the team. There are much more experienced players than me who also do this job. So I look at it this way: if the team wins, it doesn't matter whoever is the captain. At the end of the day, India should win, and you should be able to contribute. I look at it leadership in this manner. Yes, if given a responsibility when it comes, good, you give it to the best of your advantage, but nothing changes if that post is still not there.
But what's your leadership philosophy?
Is to help others, you look after yourself, but you as a leader, your job is to make things comfortable and give your players the best way to express themselves and the best ability. So everyone is different. I have to use everybody's ability in a different manner. You have to be empathic. You have to have empathy. You have to understand other scenario as well, because everybody's thinking in a different manner. So what do you do? How do you handle the team? All of these things are very interesting for me. So when I have an opportunity, I would like to, get down to that level. That is what I've seen in great leaders whenever they do, and they go on to your level and they come on to your level and understand that what is the player going through.
Who've been your leadership inspirations?
So I've learned from it. When I came into the side, MS Dhoni was the captain. I played under Rohit for a long time. I've played under Virat for my test debut as well. So I've played under all these. All of them are great captains. Everybody have different kind of, they have different abilities and different kinds of leadership skills. So you learn from everyone. It's not like one size fits all and this is the way I want to do it, but you take positives from everyone and you learn from everybody's experiences. So I have seen all of them. So I understand that when I came as a youngster, what helped me, what was I scared of. So if somebody comes, even if I'm not the captain, I go up to that youngster and try and make him feel comfortable, because then that helps our team and that puts us in a great scenario to win the game. So that's how I look at leadership.
You've established yourself as one of the foremost bowlers in cricket. What's next for you? What are some of the near and long-term targets that you set for yourself?
The thing that has always been my focus, when I started, I had goals and I never accomplished that goal. So I stopped looking at goals. I look at series by series. What is my next event? So next event is I'm going to Australia for a test series. I look at that. I don't have long-term plans because things keep on changing. We play a lot of cricket. I don't know what will happen. And then I'm focusing more on the things that are far ahead. So I look at myself right now, very happy with the journey that has been there so far. But I think there's still a lot more. And then you focus on the goals that you have right now, rather than having long-term goals and trying to win every series that you play. So I look at it that way. And eventually when my career is over, I'll have a look that this is what I did and I will have nothing left in my tank.
Final question. When your career is finally over and you look back on what you've done, what would you want your legacy to be? How would you want people to remember you as?
I don't know what, that is not in my control, because the narratives are not in my control. But the only thing that I have focused on, and I want to do that, is the day I finish, I would want to ask myself the only question, that did I give it my absolute best in everything that I had? Did I give it all? And that answer should be yes. So I don't want to leave anything to chance. I want to give everything in every aspect. I've given it my absolute best. The tank will be empty and then I'll be happy. What legacy, what people will think, what opinions people will have, I cannot control, and that I don't know what will be that narrative at that moment.
So for the journey ahead, all the very best to you, Jasprit. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.